are going to solve absolute value equations. So it's an equation, so we're equal to. We remember that absolute value is our distance away from 0. So, and our distance can never be negative. So our question to try to deal with is find the absolute value of 3p plus 2 when it's equal to 7. So what we're actually looking for is the value of p that makes that a true statement. Now remember that because we're talking about how far we are away from 0, there are 2 points that are 7 units away from 0, both 7 and negative 7. So I need to set this up as 2 possibilities, 2 possible equations that could make this work. You can see the first one is 3p plus 2 equals 7, but my second option is that 3p plus 2 could also equal negative 7, because the absolute value of negative 7 is indeed 7, like I want it to be. So now I will solve these as if they were 2 separate equations. I'll take 2 away from both sides. That leaves me 3p equals 5. And at this point, I would divide both sides by 3. So p equals 5/3. Or, and that's important, I need to still consider my other option. If I do the same over here, trying to get p by itself, so I took 2 away from both sides first, and then divide by 3 to get p alone, to get rid of that times 3, we get that p equals negative 3. So there are 2 possible values here that will work. P could be 5/3, or p could be negative 3. And it's a good idea to double check that. So if I check, we have the absolute value of 3 times negative 3 plus 2. That's the absolute value of negative 9 plus 2, which is the absolute value of negative 7, which indeed is the 7 that I want it to be. And if I check over here, the absolute value of 3 times 5/3 plus 2. Well, 5/3 times 3 is 5, so that's the absolute value of 5 plus 2, which is the absolute value of 7. So these are our 2 answers. Okay, so those are our 2 answers. Now let's go down and try another situation. So we have this. We have the negative 2 times the absolute value of 3p plus 2 plus 3 equals 7. So before you can go through that process of setting up 2 different equations, you need to isolate the absolute value. So our first step would be to take this 3 away. So we'll take 3 away from both sides. And that would leave us negative 2 is the absolute value of 3p plus 2 equals 4. And then we would need to divide by this negative 2. We need to get rid of that as well. And that leaves us with the absolute value of 3p plus 2 equaling a negative 2. And right there, friends, we take a look. The absolute value equaling a negative number. You cannot have a negative distance away from 0. So in this case, there is no possible value that p could be that would make a true statement. And so you would just say that this equation has no solution.